I had an agent when I was in high school here in Maryland, and my first job was on a Nike commercial.
What?
Not have an SD card. Rip.
Tragic. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Hags Podcast.
Episode 5. Let's go.
Wow. Episode 5 already.
Wow. That's a month and a week.
It is.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Damn.
I've lost track of all time.
Same.
Truly. Yeah.
Everything blurs together.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah. I had a rough week.
Yeah. Honestly, same. It was a busy, stressful week. What happened to you?
It was busy and I just was not feeling well, and some stuff happened, and I don't know. I'm tired, and
Yeah.
I can't say much more than that.
That's valid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a week. You, Emily?
I'm tired. I just woke up from a nap. I was doing our script breakdown for Against Us and I fell asleep. And it's been chaotic. I also had a voice lesson today.
Yeah, I know, I heard that.
And you did? I had to do the mirror exercise and then I cried.
Aww.
Really?
Yeah.
What's that?
I feel like Anthony does something like this too with acting, but with singing, she makes you sing your song in the mirror. And like I set up the laptop so she can see my reflection. And then you sing the song like you're singing to yourself. Then you sing it like you're singing to your younger self. So I did it for when I was 9. And then you sing it like you're 9 years old again, singing to your present self. You do it where it's your future self singing to you now.
Wow.
What song was it?
Vienna. So that's why I cried. I know. It was a lot. I didn't expect that. I was like, normally I hold myself together. And then she was like talking it through. And she's like, okay, now look in the mirror. And as soon as I looked in the mirror, I was like, shit, I'm about to cry.
That sounds emotional.
It is. It's such a good exercise. I haven't done on Wednesday. I have to do the future singing to my current self. And I'm like, okay, that one's going to make me lose it. But the little ones, I was like, oh, that's heavy.
I know. Slow down. You're doing fine.
I know. And then she has to talk through all of it. She says that it's like half voice, half therapy. And she's like, this is the parts of therapy. And I'm like, great. Love that.
That's such a good song.
So good.
I didn't hear you sing at all.
Really?
Only time I hear you is the and that's it.
Wow. I sing so much in here. I just thought that you were like hearing it all day long.
I don't hear you sing in your lessons at all.
Wow.
And I sit right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the house are loud.
Well, in good news, that's not sad or having to do with our bad weeks. Our interview came out today. That totally, completely cut out. We couldn't hear a thing. Jimmie screamed, for anyone wondering.
Literally, very exciting. Very exciting. Because we wrote it a month and a half ago. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And I feel like we wrote it during chaos. We were all like really stressed. I was at home. Like I remember it being chaotic, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we were all kind of dealing with stuff. Yeah. Just yet again, like I feel like our mission, what we're doing, just brings us back to where we need to be, no matter what we're going through.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt really good to put it out into the world.
Yeah, see it live.
Yeah.
The first of many.
The first of many. And you know what? Let's say this. Honeyhead commented, or they had a post, and they're basically 5 years into their production company.
They're more than 5 now. I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But they basically were like, they made a post and they were talking about how you need to cherish your first. And I was like, that we need to do that. So it's our first article.
It
It is
is.
very exciting. We've had a lot of first. Like,
And I don't think we've cherished many of them.
we haven't. We're
No,
running to the next
We've-
one.
literally, we've screamed our way through it.
We're running to the next one.
Throwing bowls.
Oh,
Crazy.
we're running to the next
Yeah.
one though, and we just have so much going on. We're working our asses off, like between
Mhm.
the podcast, our jobs, and just trying to make it all happen. It's a lot, man, but it's worth it.
Yes. Oof. We are. Yeah. It is worth it. It is definitely worth it. But we do need to stop and cherish the first. So we're going to cherish and celebrate ourselves for our first article. And we're going to have a fun little dinner or whatever we want to do. You've already had dinner, Cheyenne. So maybe it could have been fun, but we're going to cherish ourselves and we need to take time out of this weekend to celebrate. And if you're listening, you need to celebrate your wins too.
Yes, yes, you
Don't
do.
run through them. Don't.
My dinner was rushed because I had to get here, and I got off work late.
Damn. Cherish it tomorrow.
Like,
Not
yeah.
tonight. I have to do the script breakdown tonight.
I know. I was literally talking to Emily about that. I was like, we have a lot to do and we have the
Mhm.
budget. We've got a lot going on. Yeah. But it's worth it. So,
It is.
yeah.
And I'm super excited. Our crowdfunding campaign for our feature film is quickly approaching.
She's coming around. She's around the corner, rounding. We can see her. Yeah. But that's
Which-
exciting. We've got a lot to do, but it's gonna be great and it's gonna get done.
We've already gotten a lot of it done.
Mm-hmm.
So those parts are exciting to be able to get out there.
Yeah, agreed. And it just shows like I feel like you constantly don't feel ready and you're just like, oh, I got to do this and this and this. And there's so much coming. And then you just take those steps and then you do it even though you don't feel ready. And we're doing that. So
Yeah.
we are ready. We've been planning a lot, but it doesn't, it feels like you could perfect something and do something forever. And we just got to move forward.
Like
Keep moving forward. Yeah.
with the thanks for coming edit, we just kept editing and we did not need to.
I mean, 6 months, we rewrote the ending. Yeah.
An
But-
edit is never done.
Yeah.
You just got to put it out there eventually.
Yeah. Especially if it's your first thing, like you got to let it go. Learn, take what you can, and move on.
Move on.
Move on. I need to tattoo that on my body because I don't move on. I sit and sit and sit.
You should get a tattoo. We're going to a party in a few weeks where they're going to have a tattoo artist. You could get one.
We are?
Yeah.
Am I invited? What party?
Yeah. Carly's.
Oh, there's a tattoo artist going?
Yeah.
How do you know? Is it on the
It was
is it
on
on
the
the flyer?
invite. Yeah. You can get a
You know.
tattoo.
I did not read that. But it was very beautifully made. I just didn't read what was on the flyer. I don't even know what day it is.
Well, you can get a tattoo.
Oh, I'm too scared.
That's fair.
So, in honor of celebrating our first, we're just going to share the first time we were ever on set, not even for Hag, just in general. When was the first time you were ever on a set? And what happened?
Emily?
Am I going first?
Yes.
Okay. The first time I was ever on set, I was 15 years old, and I had auditioned for this film, and in the audition, all I did was like I just had to like react to like a kite flying over. Like it was super simple. I was like a child. Like it was all lighthearted. And then my teacher at the time happened to know the director of the film, and he put in a good word for me, which I did not deserve a good word because I was very bad at acting. I did not have skills. And the teacher found out that I auditioned for him. So he sent in like being like, oh, she is incredible. She is amazing. You need her. You will be blown away. And I was like, aw. And I still had the new actor syndrome. So I was like, oh my God, I am amazing. And so my mom took off of work for it. And we drove to Bowling Green, Kentucky. And turns out I was not incredible and not amazing. And I would not blow anyone away. It was pretty bad. So in the audition, it was just, lighthearted. And then I got there and it was that I had to react to a dead body, which I was a green actor. I was new. I didn't have the emotional life or know how to tap into that or be real. So we probably did the take about 10, it felt like 20 times, but it was a lot. And like every time it was me, like I had to walk over to the shed. Like I was just a kid, like flying a drone, and I had to like, my drone crashes, and then I have to go walk over and I'm like looking for it, and I open a shed and there's a dead body there. And every time, like they were waiting, like you open the door, and like obviously it'd be like it would be like real, like you're scared and like you scream. And every time I was like, I was not giving. It was so bad. And the
Said,
director kept being like, okay, I know. And he was just like, okay, just one more time. One more time. And he's like, what are you really scared of? And I was like, dead bodies. And he's like, okay, but we're not seeing that. And I was like,
Oh no.
I know. And my
"No, we're
mom was
not seeing-"
trying to help. And she was like,
Should have been
spiders,
like,
you're scared. I know. She was like, you're scared of spiders. And I was like, okay, same thing again. Like, it was so bad. And I don't know if we ever got it. I honestly, he sent me the film like a year later. And as soon as it hit my email, I immediately deleted it. So I've
no,
never
you
seen
didn't
it.
even watch it.
No, my mom was so mad too. She was like, I wanted to see it. And I was like, I couldn't bring myself to see it. Like, I was so upset about it. Like, afterwards, like, my mom and I went to some Corvette cafe, and I was like, I think I ruined their film. And she's like, no, you did fine. She's like, it's okay. And I was like, no, I ruined their film. I was like, it's gonna be the reason it goes nowhere. And it went nowhere, so it might be my fault. But it was just like
No.
a small part. I'm sure there was other stuff, like a bad actor that's a kid that's in it for like 3 scenes wouldn't have ruined the whole thing, but
Also, if I were to see a dead body, I wouldn't be like, you know what
I
I
know.
mean? Like, I'd probably pass out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
and I think what I had was a subtle reaction, and I just wasn't like loud then. Like, I don't know.
you didn't do
Also,
your banshee.
they should
Yeah.
have had you audition seeing a dead body, not just reacting to it.
Yeah,
It's their fault.
I
I
agree.
know. But the director is so nice, and he still sends me happy birthday every year, so I don't think there's any hard feelings.
No, he
Oh,
probably forgot about it a month later. He
He
probably just
did.
cut it on the editing floor. It was like, let's move forward.
Probably. It stuck with me though. Yeah.
wow.
I don't remember. I don't even know what I first did.
You got the look.
Yeah, I really don't know. It's not on my actor's access because I scraped it.
Is it on IMDb?
I don't think so. I don't know what my first thing was.
Was
Was
it a
it a film?
commercial?
Was it your comment sold commercial?
I don't think that was my first. It was very, it would have been within the top 1 to 4 things. Oh, I know. I did a short film in Memphis.
Ooh.
I forgot. I don't have it. I had some of the footage that was in my demo reel, but I took it out where I like talked to that guy. Have y'all seen it? Where I'm like at the door. You've
I
probably seen
probably
it.
have.
I think I've seen it, but I remember the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a phone call scene. Okay. Actors out there, new actors, phone call scenes are hard. You're talking to no one. You're talking to yourself. And I practiced it for days. Like I even was like at home with my boyfriend went to Memphis with me at the time and I was practicing it with him and I was like I'm going to crush. And when I got on set, it was literally just me and the director. Nobody else was there. And I was shaking in my boots.
On set?
Yeah,
Just
it
you
was
and the
just
director?
well the director also shot it. So I guess director slash cinematographer for the phone call scene because it was outside, it was darker, and then when we went inside, we had more people. But for the phone call scene, yeah, I did so terrible. He kept trying to give me notes. I couldn't take the notes because had never acted. I had like been in training for, I don't know, like 8 months and with Anthony online. But I did terribly. And I really prepped. I did all the prep and it was still terrible because, acting is inhuman and it takes time to build the skill. And yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. The short actually turned out to be really good. It was just the phone scene, just really was quite rough. Um, yeah. But it was fun. Memphis was fun. And yeah, that was my first time on a set.
Yeah, you ripped the band-aid off, so
I did. I ripped the Band-Aid off and I was so proud of myself. I remember driving and I felt so official and I got this audition I got the job on my own. Like it was something I found on Facebook and it was outside of the studio. I don't know. I just felt really independent and in charge of my career from that little short film booking. And I actually still kind of keep up with the people from the film. So yeah.
That's nice.
I think a lot of people who aren't actors don't realize how awkward it is to be in front of a camera and lights for the first time.
Mm.
After,
Mhm.
you keep doing it, you don't even realize they're there. Like you're aware of them and you're aware of what your frame is, but you also aren't because you're in the scene. But when
Yeah.
you're first starting, it's awkward.
You're like, oh, where's the camera? Yeah. What about you, Cheyenne? I want to know yours.
Well, mine wasn't so bad.
Oh, yours is the Bregalicious.
So I had an agent when I was in high school here in Maryland, and my first job was on a Nike commercial.
What? Your show was
Girl.
on a Nike commercial?
I was not the on-camera.
Principal.
Let's be clear. I was not the on-camera principal, but my first job was a Nike commercial, and it starred Kevin Durant.
I think I've never heard this.
Do you know
Have
who
I?
you know who Kevin Durant is?
Oh, let me look it up.
I know the
My
name.
monitors.
He's a basketball player.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think I was
Wow.
16, maybe 17. No, I was 16. Actually, I have no idea how old I was, 16 or 17. And I drove myself down to DC in my Honda Civic
Without
Oh
a
my
parent?
gosh.
without a parent.
How'd they let you on set?
I forged my mom's signature. No one
Nice.
cared.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Hopefully Gigi's not watching this. It's been 12 years. We can move on. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was a giant commercial, and I got to see all the gear I saw on that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode when I was 4 in person for the first time, and PAs were bringing me hot dogs,
Oh my,
and it was awesome. And
that is amazing. Were you just like the big shot? Were you just like, I feel freaking
I didn't expect that. Like I didn't expect that experience at all. Um, it was just a lot of fun. I was playing an athlete, so we were being active and we were in Nike gear. Yeah, it was
Were you
fun.
nervous?
No. New
What did
actor.
you Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. You're like, I'm the best.
And on top of that, I was a teenager, so I was very,
Active.
very confident.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Kevin Durant's very tall, and it was a great experience. We got to be inside and outside and got paid good money, especially at that age. I was like, whoa. I don't even remember how much it was exactly, but I remember being very happy and it went well. And the only bad thing is when I was walking to my car, it was nighttime, and where they had us park wasn't far. It was just like on the other side. You'd like walk outside of the building to get to the parking lot. And a man came up to me and tried to take me to a hotel, but
Oh,
besides that, it was
He has
great.
hotel money?
Um, who knows? I don't know.
that builds character.
That's very scary, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was my first time on set.
That's a good first time on set story. Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
And it's not like that continued to happen forever, that was just the first time. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to jump into this career. A
Yeah.
Nike commercial with Kevin Durant.
I never saw it.
Oh, did it not go anywhere?
I don't think it aired in America, but here's
Oh,
the thing. I don't see like any commercials I'm in.
Actually, to be fair,
that's
I never
fair.
see commercials. Like, yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember. I've done a lot of commercials now too, and I
Yeah.
just once I get my paycheck, I'm like, goodbye.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
same.
they're great things. Um, but you don't do it's not the same as, film, TV. It's
Yeah.
it's a different thing.
Yeah, they pay the bills.
Yeah.
Very important. Commercials are very important and they pay the bills and they pay your team's bills. But it's not, I'm like, let's let it go. Let's
I'll do the job and then I'm gonna move along.
yeah. Yeah.
But you gotta remember your oh my God, I can't think of the word. You gotta remember your conflicts
Yes, you
when
do.
those contracts are up.
Do
But
not get in a little pickle doing all these little commercials in perpetuity.
Yeah.
never
Mm,
in perpetuity.
Never.
Mhm.
So the strike?
Potential strike.
Potential strike.
It's
Potential,
not
yes.
it's not fully looking like there's going to be an IATSE strike, but
Mm.
they have not come to an agreement. The AMPTP and IATSE are in negotiations. IATSE, they represent a lot of the crew on sets, and
Deserve to be paid and deserve their fair share. They work so hard and do not get the recognition they deserve on the work they put into the projects. So
IATSE stood by SAG and the WGA last year, so
better stand up for IATSE. Yeah, there were literally nothing without them. What are you without your crew? Okay.
nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. We'll find out what the latest for negotiations is July 31st.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I hope they come to a fair agreement because I
Yeah.
don't want to go on any other strikes again.
I
No,
know.
The thought of
I
that's
don't.
very stressful, but if they have
Mhm.
to, they have to.
Yeah, the thought of that is very stressful because the industry right now is already moving astronomically slow. So
Yeah.
the thought of going and halting again is quite scary.
Yeah,
But it's still a further push for people out there that are trying to make their own content. You know,
Mhm.
that's
now
true.
is the perfect time. And if something were to happen, it's just a bigger push to do it. So, and to support IATSE.
So now we're going to jump into our main topic, which is why we're making our feature film.
Mhm.
We're shooting in the fall, and our crowdfunding investor campaign starts in July.
Mhm.
The past year, we've been developing the script, creating content for the campaigns. We shot
Mhm.
a trailer, we're making a proof of concept video, we're figuring out the wording and who our audience is and all of that. We've been
Yeah, the
doing
targeted campaigns, the email campaigns. It is a continual list until the campaign drops or the crowdfunding campaign drops in July. Yeah. But I will say it has we've gone slower than what we thought we were going to do. We were going to do it months earlier. But we have had our hand in everything every step of the way. And it is going to feel so great to finally show it to the world in July. Yeah.
not I was thinking about the actual movie showing people.
Oh, well, also the
Oh.
movie. Are you when the movie comes around, prepare to be sick of us. We will be blocked. People will be like, no more. I don't want to hear any more.
People are already sick of us. What do you mean?
They
I
are.
know.
But it's gonna be so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing, like when I feel overwhelmed with everything we have to do, I just keep thinking about that moment when we say, that's a wrap on Against Us. Like,
Oh,
I just can't, like, I get overwhelmed, like, with joy when I think about that moment. Like,
I'll pass out.
we'll be
we're,
so tired and, like, it's just gonna be awesome.
oh
And
my
that's
God.
That's what keeps me going.
I don't even use that as I think of the other things, but that for thanks for coming gave me a high for a year.
Right?
So imagine against us. That's solid 5 years.
It's a feature that we've been putting our heart and souls into. And
know.
I guess we can start from how the story came to be and why it's so
Yeah, let's go from the beginning. Yeah.
why are we making the story?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do the beginning because I want to say how I didn't understand it.
Okay.
I was waiting for relinquished control, but yeah.
Not relinquished control. We'll get there. Okay. So we it was a 40, was this one the 48 or the 72?
48.
The 48. We had a 48-hour film festival for Sidewalk. And we were doing two. We were doing a second 72-hour the same weekend, as you guys heard in the first episode, for Rocket City. And the 48-hour, we had, it was time travel, and we had to use the line. Oh, I forgot
It
the
was-
line.
They give everyone a different genre, which was ours. We got was time travel, and then they make you say the line, which was, "I wish you would have told me sooner."
I wish you would have told me sooner.
I did.
And then you have to
Yes.
have an Alabama landmark in it.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Emily. All of that. And the script, we were all sitting at the table trying to think of something. And Cheyenne, and maybe you take it over now because you did all this and I can't really remember everything. But you go and then I'll add my commentary.
So, time travel is a really tricky genre for a film race because you don't have a lot of time, you don't have money, you don't have locations, you have to figure everything out. And everyone was throwing out ideas, and they were all Back to the Future.
They were all
Yeah. I
Every
was
single-
saying dystopian because we rented out a cabin for that whole weekend. So we were in the middle of nowhere in a hunting cabin on this giant piece of land. And I was like, yay, time travel. We look like we're hunters.
Yeah, I had no thoughts. I was so tired. So much was going on. And I was like, y'all gotta come up with something.
So I pitched this idea. I don't remember how I came up with it because
either.
but essentially I was like, okay, this girl and her boyfriend, they get in a fight while they're on a hike, which gets us our landmark. What was the landmark called?
Let me fact check with my double monitors. The landmark was Scottsboro Cave. The Suta, Sauta, Suta Cave National Wildlife Refuge in Scottsboro, Alabama.
Okay. I'm not repeating that, but that's what it was. So that gets our landmark, and she's going to get in the fight and go into the cave. And then when she comes out, that's the time travel. She's going to be in this different world, and she's going to get recruited into this community, and they're going to take her, essentially. And I probably said a bunch of other stuff, but
You were saying, you were giving the Charlie Day when he was like,
that was
I
me.
had, no
No
idea
one-
what was going on.
No one could understand what I was saying.
I got you.
Emily
Everyone
did.
else was bailing on the idea. And I was like, no, I see it. I would
I
never
never
miss an
bailed.
opportunity to play a creepy girl.
Yeah, I never bailed. I was fully on board. I just didn't know what we were doing, and I was going in blind. But I was loyal in there. Continue.
Yes. No one except Emily could really understand what was happening, even though I kept explaining it. But I'm like, trust me, I see the edit in my head, and I'm going to be the one editing this. Like, this is going to work. And it worked. So we finished the film project, and I did a lot of overlaying and just effects in the edit that made the time travel work. And Missy came up with a great line.
Yes.
One of the girls we work with, she came up with the line where we say, how do I even explain this?
We
So-
all introduced the year that we entered the cult world.
So when my character in that short film. Rose was getting brought into the cult and like getting told what was happening. All of the other sisters, so the other girls in the cult, said the year they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it,
Jan,
it really tied everything together.
yeah. So the audience could understand what was happening. Yeah, it just really tied everything together. And we loved it.
Oh, I loved it. When we were at the table, we should drop that footage in here. But when we were at the table, we like choreographed how we would sit down and how the cult would introduce themselves to Rose and how the power of Jan would affect the women at the table. And
Jan played the leader of the cult, for reference. And we even had people from the time travel cult world in the present day at the beginning of the film. So they were like, we place little Easter eggs throughout to show the time travel and to show the worlds connecting.
yep. Sit.
But anyway, we really love the idea, and then we were like, let's turn this into like a real short film. That was the original plan. So we started planning for that, and we even rented a location. We were going to shoot in August of 2020.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Forgot.
I forgot. Yeah. We reached out to them and everything and got approval.
It was booked.
Oh, it was booked. You're right.
Oh,
And
shit,
then
I forgot.
you've heard in previous episodes, we got offered a contract and an investment from an executive producer. We turned it down. If you want to know more about that, it's episode 2. Yes.
I'll make it its own clip and post it before this is released.
Beautiful. Emily will post a clip and I'll put it in the comments on this video. So if you're listening on Spotify, it'll be in the show notes. And if you're on YouTube, it will be in the description. Okay. So we turned that down and then we decided this is actually a feature film. I think we should invest our time in doing that. And we all agreed.
Yeah.
And Jimmie's friend Bailey, you can take it over from here, Jimmie.
Our friend Bailey, we brought her in when we thought we were going to move forward with the investment. So we from the executive producer. So we had a meeting on my back porch, talked through what we wanted. She absolutely loved the story and immediately could see the world and was starting to build it out under that short timeline that we had. And, we ended up not going through with the investment. But over the past year, our friend Bailey, she is our friend, and Alex have been working on the story. And yeah, it was just something that she reads a bunch of stuff about like women in power, and it's just what she loves, horror films, so she could immediately put herself in that world and start to build it out. And they have made such a good story. It's very, very, very good.
Yes. I think Bailey's part of the scripts are very, story women driven, which we needed. It's a story about women. But then Alex, with his knowledge of horror and just history in general, brought in so much detail. So those two worlds fighting was magic.
It was magic. And Alex also, he understood the thread to build the I mean, Bailey also built the story too, but there were like pieces that he put in that I think really tie the cult world versus the real world, the history of the cult, as well as the culture of the cult. Yeah, they were the perfect blend and created the most incredible script. Yeah, it's good to have when you're collaborating your antithesis, like a person that's so different from you, because you see things that they don't see and vice versa. And it feels like a well-rounded script.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So the past year they've been writing it. And then in October, we didn't go into full detail. We didn't do the short film. We started working on the script. And then in August, July, we started planning out the proof of concept.
Yes. And I just want to note before we get too far ahead,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the story was
Mm.
inspired by things we've all gone through. It's
Mhm.
a very fantastical world and, it's a horror film, but the story and the themes are based in reality.
Yeah.
And by us making this film, we feel and we are taking our power back from those situations
Yeah.
and using what we went through to feel and move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think is something that people will see and feel when watching the story. That's why I love psychological horror films, because there's so many things that are grounded in the human experience that are relatable. Like it's not like a slash, it's not just a blockbuster type of horror. Like it's something that really sits with you and makes you think about your human experience. And yeah, Against Us definitely does that. And it's our story through Rose, which
Yes.
is the protagonist of the story, which Cheyenne will be playing. Yeah. Brought Alex and Bailey on. They've been finalizing the script. I actually got a text from Bailey today, and she said, let me read it. I Zoomed with Alex tonight. It was last night she texted me, and I'm feeling very solid about our script, just making minor changes as I do a read through, and then it will be ready.
So excited. I
That
can't
is
wait to
so,
start doing all of the planning the shots and everything
I know.
and
Yeah.
choreographing. I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, Emily, you're going to be all in that with the
I
choreographing.
have so many things saved for
The Gloria
inspo.
TV.
And I have
Good.
the songs. I have my
Yeah.
dance book. I went
Mhm.
all in. The cultural dances. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. Um, the story, the cult is a Balkan based cult. So, oh, I don't want to say her name. I don't know if I can say her name.
Whose name?
Vladka?
You can say Vladka.
Okay.
I can see the people.
Vladka is, I know, right? It's like messing me up. It's a Serbian name. It's a Croatian name. Vladka. That's Balkan. So yeah, the culture that Emily's referring to is like Balkan culture. That's used when building the world. But
We have a
anyway,
mixture though. It's like a little sampling of everything. We've
it's a
kind of made
sampling.
our own culture.
Yeah, it's Balkan influenced, but it's in a southern town in um I think Georgia. It's southern state, doesn't matter. But yeah, it is a blend of our culture and the yeah, yeah. Anyway, so July, August, we started planning the proof of concept and the trailer. You guys want to comment on that? How you felt about it?
We really dove into the trailer in September.
Yeah, it was September, I guess, wasn't it?
We were
Yeah.
associate producing a feature film in the summer, and then we had no budget to do this trailer,
$0.
nothing. But we did have our location.
Yes, that's huge. You write with what you have. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we took full advantage of the location. We shot all of our narrative parts for the trailer in a single day
Mm-hmm.
during daylight in October.
Freezing. Yeah. We had 4 outfit changes. We had hair changes. We had one of the outfits we went into water, cold, cold water, and then came back out, had to change to then go to another scene. It was absolute chaos. We did so much in a day.
We shot in
Um,
the real world, we shot in the cult world, which are two different aesthetics, two different
yeah.
color palettes. And we had limited crew, but we did have a crew that believed in us and wanted to be a part of our crowdfunding campaign. So they volunteered their time and their equipment, and we are forever grateful for that.
Yeah, so grateful.
Our small but mighty crew with no money
No money, just food and coffee is how we were able to pay the crew.
We made something that I'm proud of and
So
hopefully
proud of. Yeah.
will enjoy and be able to see the vision of the story.
Yeah. We have really good incentives for it. We met with the writers and thought through like what are pieces of the story that would make sense when incentivizing people to crowdfund. Yeah, it was just all very well planned.
It was.
Very well planned.
Pre-production is key for any new filmmaker out there. Over plan.
Over plan. Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. If you I just feel like if you don't, you're selling the story short. You can't give the story justice if you don't do all the pre-planning before you're on set or before you launch a campaign or whatever it is. You deserve better and your story deserves better.
So many things will go wrong if you don't plan.
And so many things will go wrong. Things go wrong when you plan. So imagine not planning. Okay.
And if you're
All the
wearing
continuity.
if you're wearing multiple hats like we do, there's no way to not do pre-production to its fullest. I cannot be in a scene where I have to, dive deep into the character and what she's going through. If I'm thinking about wardrobe for the next setup, I can't be thinking about that. I can't be stressed about time if I am playing this character. I have to be fully in it.
Yeah.
And now when we yell cut, I go back into director mode and I go back into producer mode and I do what I need to do. But that's not possible if you did not plan well.
On the day of the Against Us proof of concept trailer shoot, we planned so much for that. It was a page and a half and we planned so much. But because of that, when we got to set, I shut everything off and my body kind of took over. Like, because everything was so thought through, like we thought through so much. I just felt like I pressed a button and the day ended and it all got done. And that there's no way that would have happened without the planning.
And it was exhausting.
It was absolutely exhausting. Yeah.
Because not only were we acting, producing, directing, we were also wardrobe and production design.
And crafty.
And location managing and
everything.
Yeah. One thing that we're actually shooting the feature film on this location. It's Bailey's family's location in Elkmont, Alabama. And I don't even know how many acres it is. Like
a lot.
100? I don't even know how to guesstimate. A lot. And there's a lot of family history on the land. And it was just, they have a barn. I mean, there's so many things that really help tell our story. So yeah, we're really grateful for that that little spot.
Oh my God, that just reminded me when we were filming the scene where we were like eating flesh, which you'll see this when we launch, but there was the water right in front of us and we were doing that scene and these guys on a boat just went by on the water.
Oh my God, I don't remember that.
And we just had lights, a fog machine, girls covered in blood, and they were just like staring at us.
I turned off. So when we did that scene, we had just done the ritual, and then we were finishing out the ritual by eating this. But the thing is, it was icy, and I was freezing. So when that boat drove, I don't even remember that. I was so honed in on trying not to shiver when eating to look confident. So I
was just trying to not throw up. It was so gross. After every take, I was like spitting it out.
And he was like, "Don't eat it." And then we didn't eat it, and it looked bad because we didn't eat it. And then it was
He said small bites.
Yeah, I did not listen to that.
Yeah.
Going in.
Oh, it looks good. So,
but it looked great. We got it done, and then What was the next thing? The next,
That
I
was the
guess,
last shot of the day.
or I meant,
I don't think it was
Oh, wait, we did your coverage after that.
a coverage, and then we did Lotka and Mara and the farmhands.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
And that was quick because
we had no daylight.
Losing daylight, time and money.
Yeah,
Mm.
time and money. We had to go. But yeah, more. After that, we did some other projects, but through May to now, May 2023 to June 2024, everything has been dedicated to the feature. Everything we're doing is to move the feature forward, and to move to prep for the crowdfunding campaign, the pre-production, everything.
One thing I want to point out is from Thanks for Coming to now, all those projects we've worked on and the people we've worked with,
Mm.
this campaign is possible because of a lot of those people.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes,
Our
so
DP,
true.
our
Mhm.
composer,
Hunter is incredible.
like just so many things are possible because of all the other projects we did and because we gave to others as well.
Yeah.
If you put in the work, people will return the favor and they'll want to work with you. Because, like, so many people are going to be on our set from Thanks for Coming. Like, they'll be on our Against Us set, and it's because they genuinely loved working with us because they saw how dedicated we were and all the work that we put into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wanted to say, like, as indie filmmakers, I feel like it's really easy to work in your silo and to think about yourself and your story and your films and your projects. But in order to grow with what Cheyenne is saying, you have to like have that creative capital with other indie filmmakers and like people that are have more experience than you that will mentor you and bring you here, or and you do the same for other people. Like you have to have that journey to get to where we're at and where people above us are at. Like that is why this career is so incredible, is because it's so collaborative and supportive. And yeah, that we're here because of the people that have helped and supported us. So I think
Yeah.
that's great.
Especially in those critical above the line roles, like
Oh,
DP and composer, for example. We had them on Thanks for Coming, the same two people. And then we brought them onto other projects and we recommended them to other people. And then we helped them with stuff. And it's just a give and take.
oh yeah.
And the reason we were able to do a trailer with no budget is because of the give and take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then what I wanted to say about the location was you have to work with what you have when you don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So this location was just the perfect launching pad to make this feature film.
Yeah.
If we didn't have this location, the budget would, I don't know, at least multiply by 25%.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, to find somebody's land to film and to get permit. Yes, yes. Make it way more expensive. Yeah. That's what
yeah.
Mark Duplass always says, Shine. We bring it up all the time. Is like when you're writing your own stuff, you write with what you have. Like don't like make things that are feasible for you.
I mean, even for the 48-hour film race where this story originated, when I was coming up with the story, it was because of where we were and what we had
Mm-hmm.
access to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh, well, I don't know. But you
Yeah. No, you're right.
have
Yeah.
to work with what is available. Maybe you don't have access to a Caribbean island, so you don't write your film about a Caribbean island.
Yes. Yes. Right with what you have. I mean, some of the best films are in one location. I mean, there are a lot of films that are not extravagant. It's about the story and the acting. So,
And the
right.
sound.
And the sound. Yes.
Mhm.
That makes me
People
think of,
can forgive bad lighting and, not so nice camera, but they will not forgive bad sound because
no.
it's distracting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing that Thanks for Coming did have. We did have great sound.
Yes.
And cinematography.
I mean, obviously, yes, we had
And
amazing.
lighting. We had everything was really good on that set.
Yeah,
We
visually
got
it was
lucky.
really amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did really get lucky. Yeah. It just feels like our next step for us professionally and us with Hag, and there are the people walking behind me again. And but yeah, no, it feels like the next step for us to expand our creativity and you know what we're capable of. And I eventually want Hag to do consultant work for others, and I want to help other people produce their projects. And for me, this just felt like the obvious next step to continue to make us better storytellers, better producers, better actors, better directors. And I thought I would never be capable of producing and doing the stuff I did with the short films, and I proved that I could. And we've learned so much from the films that we've produced and created, and it I just can't imagine what I'm gonna gain from doing a feature. So for me, it just feels like the next best step for us to grow professionally and personally. And then I could also talk about all the trauma behind against us, but I'm gonna save that. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And also, for me, it feels like what I've been working towards my entire life. Like every little baby step I've taken has gotten me here. And if you listen to the last episode, making movies is all I've ever wanted to do. Acting is all I've ever wanted to do. And I don't have to wait for someone else to give it to me. And I've made all these short films, I've acted in all these projects, big and small. And now this is my time. This is our time because I was fortunate to meet two people, like two like-minded people.
I could cry.
Everything came together so beautifully, and all of those baby steps led me here. And now I get to do the damn thing.
Literally. Ugh.
And
And
I
then
think back to, I just realized CNN production started in the room I'm currently in.
full circle.
It looks very different, but this was the,
Damn.
but it's just crazy because I can see my 10-year-old self was sitting there with stars in her eyes and just
You're
would
gonna make
be.
me cry again.
I'm
I,
so really getting emotional.
I can't cry every episode, but I can see her sitting there. God, now she's looking at me like
I know you're making me emotional.
just like, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm getting water to distract.
Oh.
But I can
Yes.
see her. We're in the same room, which is freaky that we're talking about this right now.
Yeah.
So happy and proud and just excited that I kept going and that we did it.
I know. I gotta read this. I got it.
Read what?
It's my friend's dad. He my friend Taylor, his dad texts me all the time, like supporting Hag. And he knows Harrison actually, and he supports Harrison, but he basically
Oh,
was like
damn.
sending me these things about Will Smith and like his box office, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so much money. And then we just need one of those films, is what I said. And he said, aim high, you'll never know who will notice. And then said, keep your dreams alive. And I don't know, you saying that just made me think of that. And it's just like, keep them alive. And if you have goals, set them and don't stop. And we got really lucky by finding each other. I think that is our secret sauce, is the three of us. Like
It's
yeah,
what I was looking for like my entire life.
no,
I
literally.
Mhm.
had no idea when it was going to come or what it would look like. But for some reason, moving to a place where I never, ever thought I would live and going,
Valid.
Alabama.
yeah, it gave it to me, which is,
Yeah.
and now I'm living in a state currently, which I never thought I'd live in. And I'm moving to a state where I never thought I'd live in, and you just never know where life's gonna take you, man.
I never, you could not tell me I would have moved to LA. No, I never
What?
thought I mean, maybe after I started with Anthony and stuff, but before,
Yeah.
no way, no way,
Wow.
no way.
It's crazy.
Atlanta was so drilled into my head from like the second year I lived in North Carolina. It was just Atlanta, Atlanta, Atlanta. And that's not truly what I ever wanted. It's just what I thought I had to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Emily.
What was the
What?
question again?
It's just like a wrap up of why we're doing this.
Yeah.
It can be
Well,
whatever.
I mean, I'm doing this because it's just exciting to make something that's fully yours and like have full control because you'll go your whole acting career. Like you can have ideas, you know what you want to do, you know roles you want to play, but the chances of you booking the exact role that you want to do is so rare. So being able to do something that's fully ours and like we have a hand in creating our characters and like I love horror and I always have and like when I was like a kid and like a teen, I would like write little plays and like scripts about like, ooh, this creepy girl in the woods wearing all white, like she's a cult girl. Like I would just write stuff like that. And like I always wanted to make it. And like I would try to like get my friends to like film with me and make it. And like I had the whole thing like planned out like at my friend's house, like all the spots we could use and like location wise. So finally being able to create something that's like fully yours and fully like the dream role is so incredible and
Mm-hmm.
amazing that we get to do that because the
Yeah.
script is amazing and it's literally what I would have dreamt of back then. Doing
Yeah.
something like this, getting to be my creepy girl. Like it's
Or nice.
amazing.
We don't
Yeah.
have spoilers.
Sorry.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
you're kind of everything.
Yeah. So that's just really amazing because that's so rare. So having full control over it and it gives me faith and it gives me an anchor in this industry, especially at a time when it's so slow. Like knowing that I have this really cool project that like I get to have control over and like if I don't want to do something I can say, "Oh, I don't want to do that." Like just
Yeah.
having that control and
Yeah.
knowing that it's there.
You don't want to relinquish the
Oh,
control.
There it is.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that, Emily.
Yeah,
About this is getting me emotional.
I know.
I know.
I think this is a good segue though to how we're going to wrap up
Yeah, I
because
think so too.
we've obviously in real life gone after our dreams and are chasing and reaching for them. But what would we be doing if we decided not to do that?
So I can go first. I actually in college majored in I wanted to major in international business, but we didn't have that. So I spearheaded like an international business, international relations major minor to create that. And I applied for a Fulbright and a Boren. I didn't get I didn't apply for a Fulbright. I applied for a Boren. I got an alternate. Didn't get it. Okay. Boren is like a scholarship that brings you abroad to learn China or learn a language, and mine was going to be Chinese. So I stayed a fifth year in college to apply for both, and I got both, but I decided to do the Fulbright. So I went to Taiwan, taught English, and from that, my plan was to be like a cultural liaison for nonprofits, businesses in America wanting to go to China, Taiwan. So this acting is the opposite of what I thought I was going to be doing. I was living in Taiwan in 2020, came home because of the pandemic, and I actually was planning to go back. I left all my stuff with my host, or not my host, my co-teacher, like my scooter, everything. She had everything. She ended up selling it. And then yeah, change careers in 2020. But yeah, I never saw this for myself. I'm gonna be so honest. So yeah, I would have, I mean, I love it now and I can't imagine following that past career path. But yeah, my dream was to travel and to help nonprofits, businesses, missions understand how to be successful in China or Taiwan. So Very different.
What would your job title be?
It's kind of hard. I say cultural liaison. There's like jobs within the government, but I didn't want to do that. Like I could have had a specific job at a nonprofit where I worked with people on the ground in China, or I could have worked in a corporation where I was, like it depends. But would essentially say like a cultural liaison is probably the best way to describe what I would have been doing.
I feel like there's a link between that and acting, though,
There
because
is
you have
story.
a broader worldview that makes you a better actor.
Yep, it is. And like storytelling for products, storytelling for people, which is what we're doing for stories, and then storytelling for missions, for the culture, so there are those through lines of what I'm doing now to what I wanted to do. So yeah, it's all in the same world. I would say it's all in the same skill set, but it's just a different use of it. So yeah, it's very, very different.
Well, mine are not, maybe in some twisted ways, but mine are not in the same skill set. So I would be a primary care family medicine doctor. And
I could see you rocking that.
I couldn't be a surgeon even before I had RA just because smells. And like with primary care, there's still smells, but I would be able to deal with that. But organs and all that, I don't know.
No.
But in primary care, I'm a big believer and proponent of preventative medicine, and it would be super fulfilling for me to go on that journey with people throughout their lives and see their families grow and be the one to fight for those who are dealing with health issues because my primary care doctors saved my life in many ways. And not to go on a tangent or derail, but my kidney doctor also saved my life. I did not have kidney failure, just to clarify, but she also fought for me. For me, I think that primary care, family medicine would be a great job. I also like the hours and I could have children and it would be fine because I wouldn't be working in a hospital. That's just logistics though. But
that's the Aries in you.
yeah, the passion would be preventative medicine and uh, helping people live the best lives and have the best quality of life that they can. And I also, besides physical health, you're the doctor that's first in line. Like when someone has an issue, whether it's mental or physical, you're the first doctor they go to, and you're the one who can put them on the right path. And yeah, I think that would be really good for me.
I could see you doing very well at that. I'm glad you're
Yeah.
not doing that and you're here, but I could see you doing very well doing that.
Yeah.
I think I could do it, and I think I could have gotten through medical school, but it's not my true passion
No.
by any means.
No.
And this one's kind of a wild card. If I wasn't in entertainment and I was not a primary care doctor, I would be a meteorologist.
Oh.
Honestly, I could kind of see that.
I love weather. I have the Weather Channel app on my phone. I get the newsletters every single day. I know a lot of weather jargon. I'm looking at weather patterns around the world every day. Natural disasters fascinate me.
I
And
get that.
We had an earthquake.
oh, your first
Well, it's not my
Yeah.
first, but
your first one living there though?
yeah.
Yeah. It was
Was it bad?
crazy. No.
We were a little shaken and stirred. It was
It was like
3.5.
10 a.m. and I was still asleep. It was like 3.5 or something, and it woke me up.
Yeah.
But we thought it was just the people upstairs at first.
Yeah, it was kind of giving a car like
Yeah.
driving too hard. I don't know. It wasn't, I don't know.
I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
It was like a little miniature roller coaster ride, little shaky shake.
Yeah.
First of many.
First of many.
We had a tornado.
Oh my gosh. I heard
You
a lot
did?
of people at my job live in Maryland, and they were talking about how there was a tornado. One girl said there was a tornado like two houses down.
Yeah. The one here touched down probably less than a mile away. And I guess we didn't realize what was happening. We were on the porch during the thunderstorm. I don't know. Anyway,
Do you
I
normally
miss
get tornadoes?
thunderstorms.
not often. I remember having one or two growing up. One actually went through our neighborhood, our
Wow.
neighbor. But it went through this area.
Wow.
Wow.
Not common though, wouldn't say.
Yeah.
But okay. To sum that up, primary care doctor, and then if that didn't pan out, meteorologist.
I
Which is
could really see that.
yeah.
I could see you on the news channel
I could
pointing
too.
at the wall
Rocking, like taking care of business with the news.
in a
And I
nice little pantsuit.
wouldn't and I wouldn't be wrong.
Be
Yeah.
like, they'd be like, this actually didn't happen. It did. It is gonna happen.
Gaslighted the entire country.
That
Okay.
would be a sleigh.
Emily, what about you?
I think I probably would have been a fashion designer. Because,
Hmm.
before when I was thinking about going to college, I was going to go to the Fashion Institute of Design and Technology in LA. So that was always a thing. But I did fashion design though, too. So I don't know if that counts as a job because I did that when I was 15. I also did fashion design. And that's something that I would still want to explore though, but probably a fashion designer. And in a world where I was academic, I think I would have gone into something with dance and sports, as a physical therapist or someone that helps people understand injuries and prevention, stuff like that. That was one thing that I was looking into. Kinesiology, if that's even how you say it.
That is.
That was something that I had looked into as well because I grew up dancing and I spent a lot of my time injured and in pain. So
Yeah.
doing something like that is probably where I would be.
Can I say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Our signs, all the jobs that we said align perfectly. As a Taurus, ruled by Venus, Emily, you're the visual medium, understands textures and building fashion, being fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne, being a leader, being passionate, being assertive and academic, and then me being a Libra with the mediation of both cultures. Anyway, interesting observation, but I could totally see you doing that, Emily.
Yeah.
Being a fashion designer.
I still want to. If I have time, I will. But I don't
We
think
can
I'll
do
ever have
that.
time.
You won't ever have
When?
time with us, but one day Hag will be self-sufficient and you can have
Yeah.
side gigs. This won't be your side gig anymore. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
really ours now, but you know what I mean.
One day.
One day.
I could also see you doing the not personal training, but we always had trainers for our sports teams. I don't know if you all did, but I could see you doing that. And I think
the stretching and yeah.
well, yeah, physical therapy. I feel like a lot of athletes grow up and go into physical therapy because they understand the struggle.
Mm-hmm. They do.
And know how to be preventative so you're not injuring.
It's really important too. And when I was growing up, I don't know if you feel this way, Jimmie, I don't think recovery was taken very seriously.
Are you kidding? Not at all. No.
And I'm very glad it's being taken more seriously now because it's very important. And I think a lot of people our age would be much better off with their bodies if it was.
It was not a priority at all.
Luckily, my dance teachers were very aware of that, especially with me, after I had surgery. They were very strict about, what I could do, and I was the problem where I was like, no, I'm gonna do everything one-handed, and I'm gonna go to acro class, and I'm still gonna do everything, even though I literally had surgery a week ago. So I was the problem. I was like, no, I gotta keep pushing. Let me do my one-arm plank. But my teachers were they were a lot better. I got very lucky with my studio. It was a lot more positive than most dance studios are. Yeah, so it's getting better, but
yeah. I loved my dance studio and my cheer gyms, but it's just something that wasn't taken seriously. It was just, and no one was really aware at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see us all doing all of those jobs, but I'm glad we're not.
Yeah, we're not going to.
No.
Not going to medical school now, are you kidding?
No. You couldn't pay me to go to med school. And a lot of the Fulbrights
For
were,
medical.
yeah, no, they like were doing Fulbright for their like gap year before they went to med school. And they were like there having to study. And I was like, what? This is miserable. Like, what? This is crazy. No, no. But I'm
Mm.
glad there are people out there that do that and take care of us. So I just couldn't.
That'll be it for episode 5 of the Hags podcast. Make sure you check out our voyage article. It'll be linked in the description and the show notes, or you can access it on any of our social medias, which are
At the Hags Podcast on Instagram and TikTok, and also at Hag Productions on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook.
And you can listen to us on YouTube at at Hag Productions or Spotify at the Hags Podcast, and coming soon, Apple Podcast, the Hags Podcast.
yes, Apple's still coming soon.
Apple. Yes, it's coming soon.
It's been coming soon for a minute, but
Yep.
yeah.
They're asking for tax doc anyway. It will be resolved. Okay.
Yes. Well, thanks for listening or watching, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Goodbye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Please
Comment,
engage.
like.